No one wants to commit to anything long term. One thing we must learn to acknowledge is the fact that we fail to enjoy things. We fail to just be present in the moment because of the belief that we think something that is good should be permanent. We're trying to force everything to just endlessly continue. It doesn't work. I typically make this argument when it comes to relationships, as far as we want this person to be in our life till we die. Think about that, especially in a military context. I always think about, are long-term relationships possible in the military? And there's plenty of examples. There's plenty of exceptions as far as, let's say I didn't think they were possible. There's someone who's doing it right now. There's someone who accomplished that. But it's still up to me to see both points of view. I always get a lot of questions when I make my little marriage posts, my little subliminal, marriage is bad and divorces and all these things. And, people would ask me, okay, where are you pulling your data from? Like, where do you get these quotes from, as far as, what evidence are you basing that on? What makes you, capable of making such a statement as a single individual, never been married? And I can make the same argument for a prison, why you shouldn't go, for a DUI, why you shouldn't engage in that process. Wisdom is, first of all, it starts with mentorship. The issue is that a lot of people have to bump their head before they learn. For what? So you can experience the pain and the time it takes to stitch it up, and all the process associated with healing. A lot of people they mess up their lives in pursuit of experience when it should be wisdom. Joe, a lot of people make the argument, that Joe is experiencing, he's constantly ruining something. Every time he builds something, he destroys it himself. And you see this everywhere. You see this in people destroying their own relationships because of whatever belief system. I think someone's cheating, or I don't think it'll work out, or imposter syndrome, or maybe I'm not good enough for him or her, or maybe they're not good enough for me. It's an ongoing cycle of building something, destroying it, building something, destroying it. Well, there might be some merit to that. Some people enjoy the building process, and once you get on plateau and it's level and there's no more stress, and it's not no longer a climb, it's no longer a struggle anymore, people lose track of the fact that consistency takes over, commitment takes over. And you see that in relationships a lot, where you have a process beginning and you're trying to get off the ground. You're trying to just build something. You see this in the military often, where you're starting off your career and it's all uphill. You're in training. You're going through basic training. You're trying to pass the ASVAB first. You're trying to get through the DEP program. Trying to choose a job. Trying to get the job you want. You go to basic training. You got to get through that for 8.5 weeks. You go to tech school. You try to get through that. And then, especially during today's day, where COVID is a major variable playing, and it's running havoc throughout people's lives. Then you get to your operational base and you start a process over where you're the little fish in the big pond. You're just constantly starting over. That's the beginning of the military. That's the first maybe 2 years of just getting in. And a lot of people enjoy that process because it's turbulent, it's fun, it's movement, it's adventurous, it's exciting. There's something always going on. It's ongoing. But then there comes a point where you've been in for 2 years, 3 years. You make senior airman and you're just kind of, you're bored. And that's where trouble tends to seep in, is where people are bored. There's no longer a climb. There's no new goal set. So you're just kind of in this marathon run where it seems endless. It's what I call the wall. It hit me around staff sergeant, but it really probably took hold around senior airman, where you just kind of hit that long stretch of nothingness, where you have to be disciplined, where you have to be ambitious. And a lot of people can't seem to motivate themselves. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think some people are just not built from the same cloth, where they've always had to fight for what they have. So when they get to a new place in life, it's nothing new to them to continue to fight for what they want and to set new goals and new goals and new goals. It's different.